Hello, welcome to game 3 of my match against Terracubist. I am up 2-0, but it is their first player, and this looks like a pretty fast kingdom. So Inventor is always a very powerful card. Spices is very powerful. Money or payload. Governor is always powerful in terms of all the things it can do. Kiln lets you get copies of stuff, which can be really nice, especially if you're playing a bunch of cards you can get copies of. Herald, Inventor, Plaza, Fisherman, Governor, Spices all seem nice things to copy. So the big issue we'll have here is there's no trashing. Conquest is interesting. I wonder if you can get some big Conquest turns off. I think you get Inventor stuff with Governor off fast enough that that's not as big of an issue. They have Sage, which will help them cycle, but doesn't generate much money. It lets you get back around, I guess, to your Inventor fairly quickly, which I assume is what they're opening. My thought was to open Fisherman Inventor. Like the Sage is doing a little bit, but it's going to be finding like silvers and Fishermen fairly quickly. So it doesn't seem like it's doing that much. And I think I'm going to go with the Fisherman Inventor opening. You obviously want to hit 5 because there's really good 5s here, but that being said, there's also really good 4s and Fishermen and stuff. So there's like a lot of really good stuff here. This could be a Spices or another Inventor. Sorry, the 4 is going to be, I think the 4 is going to be a Herald. I guess I'm not going to worry about terminal collision at this point. The 4 can be just an another Inventor, and then buy a Spices, which will Spices or Governor. Spices makes my next turn a lot better. Governor makes my deck, I think, better overall. I could also buy a Herald and top deck the Inventor, which seems even better. A little bit sad that I don't hit a good price point here, but I guess I can just buy a Sage. They got, they played their Sage and they discarded 4 bad cards, which is nice. I guess they only have three good cards in the shuffle. So chances are, and like 10 bad cards. So chances are they're going to find some bad ones. With any luck, they drew that Inventor dead. I think I'm going to grab a Herald here. I think 3 Inventors and 1 Herald is just not enough. Like even some thought I'm thinking to buy a Plaza and a Sage. Make sure I can play the Inventors. I'm not super concerned if they get like a 6-4 Inventor split. If they get to 7 Inventors, then I think I'm in a lot of trouble. But it seems tough for them to actually play more than 1 Inventor a turn right now. And it should be quite a bit easier for me to play more than 1 Inventor a turn. And they took another one. I guess because they took 2 Inventors there, I just have to take 1 and not feel good about it. That was also very nice with all the bad cards they have. Wow. Doesn't help me very much at this point now that they have them all. Herald or Fisherman. The rest of their shuffle should be pretty bad potentially, although the Sage did a lot of work there. I guess I'm gonna get a Herald and Governor, I suppose. I don't think anything else is better. This Inventor 2 coppers 2 estates hand is not feeling great. I will gain my own Herald now, I think, with the number of actions, or I think maybe one Plaza, just because the way Sage works and the way this stuff lines up, it's somewhat unlikely to hit with Heralds. They got pretty lucky to hit with Herald. This on turn 5, the first time they played it, and it's probably enough to win the game. Okay, play. Wow, that discarded my Fisherman and 3 other bad cards, which is nice. So I can go crazy on the heralds here and grab like a spices or a governor to be able to draw and play them. I've only got 3 inventors, they've got 7. So I kind of have to green quickly. Not sure how I do that. With the lead, 7-3 means I have to buy a bunch of provinces, I guess, or empty the piles. So I'm gonna grab like all of the heralds, try to get a big herald chain off, and then the spices for the buy and the coins, and then try to empty stuff, I guess. Overpay 2, and I'll top deck the 2 heralds. Oops, I did that wrong. I think. Did I only overpay 1? Yeah. I am always confused by that interface. I think I only played 1. Overpaid by 1, but I waited too long, so. The advantage I think I have is that they have so many inventors, they don't really have any villages, so there's like a decent chance that they can't play all of their inventors in a turn. Like they need to spend a couple of turns buying plazas so they can get the big inventor turn off, and then hopefully I can pile out like sages and gain a province along the way or something. They do have Way of the Ox, so like if you have too many inventors, you can ox some of them, but they don't have a ton of draw either yet. I have the governor, I've got a couple of heralds, so I think I'm in okay shape potentially. Nice. So plazas make some sense to me. I just lower the plazas. And that gives me more villages, more things for my heralds to hit. Another couple of sages make sense too. Sages lower the piles the most, which I think is what I want to do. Not 100% sure on this. They've got a couple of heralds. Like, there's a possibility that they could gain 4 heralds. That seems a bit much to me. I think my plan here is to grab another governor. Maybe just grab 2 more governors and then try to pile out next turn. Or next turn that I draw, because I think my next turn... Oh no, my next turn should be good. I discarded 4 coppers in this state, so I've got a couple more coppers in this state down here that I should be able to sift through. And then I can, with an inventor in play, potentially use governor to remodel coppers into sages, something like that. Try to get a 3 pile. It's tough with only 3 inventors. So I only get 3 gains, so I need to use something else for gains. Maybe the spices would have been a little bit easier than the governor to do that with. And I do need to gain a green card at the end as well. So like I need 6 gains to end the game. The advantage to governor is that it's a target for herald, which spices is not. I wonder if they're thinking about sages now. Governors is a pile now. Also, that could be considered. I can remodel sages into governors. And then, like, I can, what can I do? I can invent for an estate, then invent for 2 governors, then remodel 2 governors, something like that. Okay, we'll lead on the sages because I know I have some bad cards down here. Good, I discarded 3 and actually triggered a shuffle, which is nice. Hopefully get a hit here. Okay, well, not getting a lot of hits. I guess we're gonna grab some coffers. We will play this. So we've got 3 inventors now. What can we do with our 3 inventors? We can gain a plaza. I cannot trigger this shuffle here. Although the last card is a governor, right? I have 3 governors. I gained 2 governors last turn. So last card is a governor. I could potentially draw it. So let's see if I have a win here. So invent for a state. Invent for governor. Invent for governor. No, because the governor only gives me 1 gain. So I've only got 5 gains here, and I need 6. So probably I end up just going for points here, and leave the governor top decked. So gain like a plaza, gain a governor, gain like 2 plazas and a governor, and a province, which feels a little bit lame, but I don't think I want to trigger this shuffle now. What do I have down there? 3 estates, 3 coppers, and an estate. So I can also invent for spices, something I can do. So I was going to get 1 governor, 1 spices, and then a province, and just hope that I get another turn. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, I think, for me to draw on. So buy a province, hope I get another turn. I think I get another turn if they don't get good herald hits. It's a little bit tough for them to have enough actions to play other inventors. They can invent, maybe they can invent out the plaza pile and then buy 2 provinces. I have more heralds than them. I can potentially turn a plaza into a duchy if they remodel, which would be nice. Depending on how many inventors they have in play when they remodel, I could turn a copper into duchy or estate or something, which would be interesting. But we will see. They played a bunch of inventors last turn, right? So they had a bunch of inventors in that discard pile, or they shuffled. So they should have 7 inventors now. They only have 4. They have 2 spices, 4 inventor plays they can make. So they can invent for estate, 3 governors, by governor province. Is that possible? That seems pretty possible here. I don't know. I think if they get a turn off here, they can empty any pile. I could have, I guess, scored some more duchies, but it's also possible they don't have all 4 inventors in hand. What would they have in hand if it wasn't 4 inventors? Okay, so they're getting plazas, which these people don't have a pile out, because estate, 3 governors, and then by governor province. Seems like the cleanest line, but maybe there is an easy line without the estate. Maybe they just have double province with the spices in hand. Yeah, right off the bat, playing Herald and everything, Governor is really helpful. Every action they get off a Herald is really helpful for them, obviously. They were 1 for 3, which is a little bit below average, I guess. Probably average is about 1 in 3, or a little more. So if they have 3 inventor plays and spices in hand, in theory they do stuff. I assume they have. They seem to have reveals an estate here, and then Sage revealed the same estate. Okay, so they discarded that same estate. So potentially they have like 7 coppers, 2 estates in hand or something. This leads me to believe they don't have a pile out because they're not lowering the piles that they would be going for. Maybe they didn't have a spices in hand. Spices was necessary. One of the spices was necessary, or they didn't have a 4th inventor. I don't think the pile out should be that tough for me from this position. 4 governors and like a province. Potentially I've got the spices now. I added, what, last turn? 2 plazas. I added a governor and a spices last turn. Looks like. Did I only play 2 inventors last turn? Oh. Oh no, yeah. I added Plaza Governor Spices Province last turn, so I technically increased my action. I technically decreased my action density, I think, because I had 11 action cards, or 11 non-action cards, and 11 action cards. So maybe I kept it, or 13 action cards, something like that. These inventor games, you just add tons of actions so quickly that it's sometimes a little bit difficult for me to keep track of them all. So this is their turn 10. They pretty clearly don't have a pile out here, otherwise they would have gone for it already. I'm assuming that means they don't have a spices in hand. So I was pretty sure the line that I saw worked if they had a spices in hand with a state, 3 governors, and then by governor province. I guess you would have needed 5 money. Yes, yeah, so they have plenty of money in coffers, so they just must be short on buys on spices. So my guess here is they should take duchy by province. Okay, well, at least they bought a province. Okay, so if I can invent for a state and 2 governors, and then I need to remodel into a governor and buy a duchy. This was a very nice start. So this can just be an estate, right? Or do I go for an easier pilot? I think this is just going for an estate. I just have to find the pieces in the deck. I'm not going to discard because I think I have a win and I might want to trigger this shuffle for some reason. Okay, well, I didn't find... Okay, well, I still have another governor down there. Okay, so I can invent for 2 governors. Then governors will cost 2. I can draw, but I don't actually need to draw, right? It's in my discard pile. 2 coppers, governor. So I can draw here. I can draw here. What can I draw that's bad? So I have 2 coppers, a sage, and a governor. So what's the worst that can happen if I turn this copper into a governor? They can turn something into a duchy, copper into a duchy. A 4 cost into a duchy gets them to 15, and then I buy a governor province and win. If I did the math right, which I'm pretty sure that I did. This felt like first player. They maybe went a little heavier on the inventors than they needed to, but winning that split 7-3 is nice. I think if they'd won it 6-4, they still would have been in shape to win. But they maybe had a little bit of a dud turn on their last turn too. I thought they might be able to pile out there. So maybe I got lucky. It's hard to tell without looking at their hand. Someone who watched it live can tell me what the draws were looking like. So that was game 3, and we move on to game 4.